What's up YouTube, YouTubers, sneakerheads, shoe lovers, anyone who's clicked through to watch the video. Thank you for joining me as I talk about shoes for the next few minutes. Today's shoe is the Air Jordan 5 Stealth. It's actually the Stealth 2.0. Now before we get stuck into the video, if you do get anything out of it, please tell a friend if you think they'll enjoy the content, but more importantly, hit the like button and comment if you've got anything to say. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to support me and watch me grow. If you do have an Instagram account, go over there and check me out. 3 kicks a day. I'm usually posting content daily. The Air Jordan 5. This is a model that is probably just as famous for being on Will Smith's feet as they were for being on Michael Jordan's feet. For those of you that grew up in the 90s, like I did, I also grew up in the 80s a bit, but I do remember the 90s pretty well, and one of those shows that ruled my childhood was The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Will Smith rocked a pair of these in the opening credits to that show. It wasn't this specific colorway, it was a black metallic version of the shoe, but he was later honored with his very own colorway in the 5s that was dubbed the Bel-Airs, which is a model that I really love. I really like the color blocking for the same reasons that I like it on this particular model here. This dominant white color really works well on this silhouette. These guys were originally released in 1990 and were first retroed in the year 2000. The model that these guys are based on, the Stealth, were originally released in 2006. And this colorway is being retroed for the first time now. Very similar to the story that we told for the Cool Greys, the Jordan 3s that were released in 2006 and being retroed again some 15 years later. What is different though is that this isn't exactly the same as that OG Stealth colorway. There are a few tweaks to what was originally on that model, and they are mainly around the use of black accents where there was previously blue, as well as a different treatment to this toe cap area of the midsole. I think they're both super fresh just because of the way that the bulk of the shoe is made up in this white material. Whether there is a bit of black accent versus blue doesn't really bother me. But if I had to pick one, I do think that there is a slight edge on the OG versions, only because of the way this toe box area looked around the midsole, but these still look awesome. The Air Jordan 5 did bring some firsts with it to the brand, the first of which is this lace lock system, the other is this oversized reflective tongue, then there was this translucent outsole, and you can't forget about the most identifying feature on the Jordan 5, which is these shark teeth in the midsole, because the design was based on the World War II Mustang jet. There is a feature that is not on this particular model of the Air Jordan 5, and that is the number 23s that you would find on the lateral side of the shoe. If you did cop a pair of the Anthracites that were released earlier this year, those guys did have the number 23 on the side of the shoe. I quite like it, but having said that, I think it's probably okay for a colorway that is this clean to not have it. Taking a closer look at this particular Stealth model, and what we do have in the outsole is translucent material making up a bulk, well, all of the forefoot really, and also a lot of the heel area. Underneath the forefoot area of that translucent outsole, you've got the Jumpman done in Hyper Royale, as well as a smoother Hyper Royale material around the top area of the outsole, around the toe cap. In the midfoot, you've got a black outsole with the Jordan name etched into it. You have got grey that dominates this midsole, except for the forefoot, which is white. The shark teeth are done in black with some Hyper Royale splatter going through it. The exposed air unit gives way to a cream type of air unit that isn't exactly like the white to the upper, but I think it's a nice contrast. Not that you can really see it anyway. And the other thing that you will see is that the translucent outsole actually wraps up to part of the midsole. The upper is white, and it works so well. You've got white leather around the toe box, the side panels, also around the heel collar. It is worth noting that the leather is slightly different. You've got a more textured leather around the bulk of the shoe, and it's more smoother around the heel collar area. You've also got these white TPU panels up the eye stay. You've got 3 running up each side. 2 of those are located in the main part of the eye stay, and then you've got a 3rd up into the heel collar. On both sides of the shoe, you've also got a translucent netting that has a white mesh material underneath, and that is the same story in the bottom half of the tongue, which is padded, but the top of it is this silver reflective material with the Jumpman done in Hyper Blue, black backing with the Air Jordan brand written upside down in Hyper Blue on a silver backing. Laces are white. You've got a clear lace lock with a Hyper Royale mechanism underneath. Around the back, the Jumpman logo is done in black, and you can't forget about the lining done in Hyper Royale. Now let's take a look at how they look on feet. I love these guys. I know I've said it before, but for me it is the silhouette, the materials and the colors that really work well together. I think it is a super fresh model. Interested in what you all got to say. If you do have a different opinion on how this particular version of the Stealth compares against the OG version. But until the next video, laters.